Good afternoon or good evening. We'll start from the front row with Brian Robb.
Hey, man, after the tough offensive first quarter for you guys, you came back with Jason and Jalen to start the second quarter there, kind of out of your usual rotation. Was that the plan going into, like, obviously extend the morning game like this, or was that with you the feel of the game, and what allowed you guys just to turn it around offensively from there?
Yeah, it wasn't the plan. We went into it with our original rotations, and to your point, didn't have the best offensive first quarter. Felt good about it, only being down 6, 26-20, and knew we were defending at a high level, but had to clean up offensively, and didn't love the flow of it. So brought those guys back in to get us a spark, and understanding it's a game 7, nothing to save guys for. As far as another game coming up soon, although it's the same day in between, we wanted to finish the series and gave those guys a little bit more run.
Grant's been spending kind of his whole career trying to fight through, I guess, doubt, shooting the ball when he hits these cold streaks. He's been on this cold streak for a while, and he started to show a little bit of that early in the game. What did you say to him to get him back on track?
I told him let it fly. They're disrespecting you more tonight than earlier in the series, and that was the plan on him and other guys, and really shifting and making them try to beat us. And you saw it on the first one that he made, and then he missed a few and got a little hesitant. And I basically said, shoot the ball. Like, what else can you do? So stop driving into the crowd, take the shot that they're giving you. And he broke Steph Curry's records for attempts in the game 7. So he said 2 Charlotte shooters. He's going to gloat about it for sure.
Ime, one of your big things was getting Jalen, Jason to trust their teammates, and it just seems the trust that they have in a guy like Grant so high at this point. What kind of led to just the trust they've developed in their teammates this year?
Yeah, understanding who they are and the game plan on a night-to-night basis. They've pretty much seen everything throughout the season. And I wouldn't say it's only Grant, it's everybody who's on the floor. If they miss somebody, it's not intentional because of a certain player that's open or not. And, that was the case tonight again. They loaded up extremely heavy off of those guys, tried to make them prove it, and, led to some assists by those guys and us getting 55. But the mantra of the series was, take what they give us and let it fly, and understand they're going to pack the paint, and, happen to make 22 tonight. But, we felt we were very close to having a really good game offensively, kind of blowing it open. Hadn't played our best and got some tight wins, but, it's great to save our best for last as far as that, and then defensively as well.
Second quarter, I think you dropped 7 fouls in the first few minutes there, getting in the paint more. What kind of shook things loose when you saw how much they packed the paint in that first quarter?
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, it's who they are and who they've been the whole series, but we don't want to just settle for the outside shot. We got to mix it up, and I think we did that best in game 6, getting 50-plus points in the paint. And so tonight was the same thing. When they started to switch, we got the matchups that we liked, attacked downhill and got some fouls early, got into the bonus, and then kind of picked up our aggression from there.
Ime, how would you describe playing against Giannis for 7 games?
Hard. The way he plays, and everybody's different. And, I experienced it as a player of certain guys that are in attack mode all game and come downhill and, don't let you off the hook. And when there's other guys that are jump shooters that you can, be physical with, and you kind of bail out. And so, it's extremely hard task because of the way he attacks and doesn't settle, and, his size, strength, and length. And so it shows why he's obviously an MVP candidate every year and champion. And, another tough one, but it felt like we kind of started to grind him down a little bit tonight. He missed some of the easier shots around the basket, and that's what we talked about. We're not relying on one guy. And, when you look at Holiday and him, a lot of times they were taking close to the number of shots to get that amount of points. And so we stuck with that, making them work, kind of locking in on the other guys. And every game you looked at the stat sheet, it was a bunch of zeros across the board from 3, specifically for, Portis and Connaughton, Allen, even what Matthews as well. And so we wanted to make them work, grind it out, and we felt we would do the same thing we did to some of the Brooklyn guys last series. But to your point, it's one of the toughest things to do. It's that balance of letting them get going one-on-one, going after them and opening some things up. And we decided on the latter to kind of trust our guys and make it tough on them.
Yeah, I was kind of going to ask you along the same lines. He had 6 assists in the first quarter, and then 3 the rest of the way. What was it that you changed after the first quarter? What did you guys do differently to kind of clamp down on that?
Yeah, we mixed up some blitzes early to try to keep them off balance. But more so than that, it was just poor recognition out of rotations early, where Portis got a clean three, Lopez got a clean three up top, and that was like I said, one of our mantras is run those guys off the line, not let them beat us from three. So it wasn't as much us going after him as him just getting off the ball and making some nice passes, and us not being as aware as we needed to be in the first quarter.
Were you just kind of playing it safe with Rob, or did you not want to disrupt when things have been going well in general the last few games?
Both. I think, like I said, it was on a need-be basis. Foul trouble, we needed defensive rebound at the free throw line, or some rim protection on a specific play. We could use him, but at the same time, we won 2 out of the last 3 without him, and had a chance to win Game 5, obviously. So it wasn't like we were desperate to get him back. We understand what it is and want to take the cautious approach. And if we needed to get him in, we would. But I would say a little bit of both, and we were fine with Tice, Al, and Grant doing what they've done all series.
And you said a minute ago you felt like you guys were close to having one of these games where you blow it open. What were the indications? What kind of things had you seen that made you feel that way?
We were guarding extremely well. I mean, to save your best for last, to give up 2 17-point quarters and 38 in the second half, we felt that was pretty consistent throughout the series. 81 tonight, they had 86, obviously 95, 101, and a 103, which are, for that team, really good defensive numbers. Offensively, we just weren't as crisp as we were. We knew if we defended at the level we have been and had one of our nights shooting-wise and getting downhill and kind of mixing everything up, this could be the result. And every game, it felt like we were in that 13, 14-point range with the lead and never really pushed to extend it, and we did that tonight.
Ime, more of a simple question. How good does it feel to beat the Bucks, the defending NBA champs, in a 7-game series where you battled them from start to finish and move into the East Final?
Yeah, it feels great. It's a great accomplishment for our guys. Like I said, I've been in the playoffs every year as a coach, and won a championship, got there, and got to conference finals and all that. But our group has as well. And so, although they're young, they've been through some things, and so it's just another feather in their cap with Jason, Jalen, some of the guys taking on a bigger role now. And so, great for us to battle back the way we did. It's what we played for, why we played the season out, to have home court advantage in the Game 7. And, believe in the basketball gods, those things matter. And so for us, we played it out and did what we did really most of the second half of the year, not fearing anybody and playing the way we have. And so it's good to kind of be rewarded against a really tough test.
Ime, after the Game 5 loss, you said right here, this will make it the comeback even sweeter after what really made you believe that, other than the schemes about make up your team, that you could win the 2 games by a combined 41 points and kind of just dominate the final 2 games?
Like I said, there were indicators how close we were, or whether it was us missing some shots, but defensively, we were going to lean on who we are, and we know that travels well on the road. Guys were pissed off about it more so than, down and defeated about it. And like I said, we turned the page pretty quickly and looked at why we didn't finish that game. Having a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, it's not like we were blown out and despondent, like we couldn't get the win. And so we had to take it one game at a time. But we did know as a staff, the numbers say if loser of Game 5 loses 82% of the time. And so we wanted to flip that script, obviously, and make it hard. We made it harder than we had to, but it would be sweeter if we go this route. And I think it'll boost our confidence going forward.
Has this team believed in each other? I mean, obviously you have a belief in them, and you've been brutally honest with them all year. But has this team gained more of a cohesion and belief in each other as the season has progressed?
Oh, definitely. It's not even close. It's a team that's been together for a while. Some guys have, but in different roles and with a different voice. And so some things at times can creep back into your mind. And I've come in with a fresh set of eyes and perspective to seeing what we have, seeing the growth and the possibilities. And so, I've always been on them about that, but we have to go about it a certain way to get to where we want to get. And so, enough proof is our record, second half of the season, probably having the best overall record, best offense, best defense. And so those things aren't a fluke in a 45-game span. And so we wanted to carry that over into the playoffs. A sweep against Brooklyn and a hard-fought 7-game series will only benefit us with our belief in ourselves.
Ime, along the lines of a bit of a follow-up to what Gary had asked, what kind of message sent or even lesson learned did you get from the way your guys closed out Game 6 and 7?
Yeah, we were pissed off, no doubt. I think the group shared that as a whole. We understood we had some close losses and close wins, but weren't playing our best. And so we all had the belief that we could take it to another level, and felt like they were grinding to get those wins, and we weren't playing our best. And so that's what I kept leaning on with our guys and talking about. Let's have a full game, not a half, not, 3 quarters. Let's put one full game together. And we thought this could be the result, but I don't think our guys ever really got down. They were more motivated by what we let get away. And like I said, we made it harder on ourselves, but we all still saw the goal and the possibility at hand.
A lot of first-year head coaches aren't fortunate enough to be on this Game 7 stage at TD Garden in the fourth quarter with the crowd going. Did you ever take a moment to take it all in? And at what point did you walk off the court thinking about Miami?
I wouldn't even say the 5-minute mark. It was around 20 and with 5:33 on the clock. And I was telling our guys, let's finish. It's not over yet. And maybe when they pulled their guys with 2 minutes or so left, but as a head coach now, the one thing that's different this year is you don't see faces in the crowd. You don't hear the crowd. I kind of zone in, and that's been the case all year. Whereas an assistant, you're looking around, whatever. And everybody talks about how loud it's been in here, and I never heard it until tonight. That's how you kind of zone out, and then I guess you take the time to appreciate it when it's a 20-some point game with 2 minutes to go, and you're hearing the crowd and looking around and seeing everybody standing. So that was the first time I really felt it in the series. But at that point, you felt like it was over and could, I guess, take a breath.
How big was the end of the second quarter? Not even just like up until the Marcus free throws, but allowing you guys to gain that momentum and come out the third quarter the way you did.
Yeah, it was big. I think, we took a shot too early and let them get the ball back and got the steal and got those free throws. But to be up, I think it's 6 at half, we felt we didn't play that well. To be down 6 and probably it was 5 at half, but we were down 6 after the first quarter, didn't play that well. So we were fortunate to be where we were and fortunate to have the end of the half like we did. But my whole point was let's take it to the level that we know we can and continue to guard that way and share the ball. And you kind of saw that coming out of the third quarter. Moved the ball extremely well, got wide open shots, and we just said, that was the message at halftime, stay confident, you're getting wide open looks that we're missing. So let's flip the script and turn those around, and you saw the result.
Given the way you guys reacted and the way that the series turned out, and the fact you have more games still to go, is Game 5 valuable now? Is the fact that it went the way it did and your guys learned what they learned from it? Is that something that's an important part of your season going forward?
Yeah, I think you can take some value in our reminder more so than anything. We had lost our fair share of those early in the season. You hate to be reminded in the playoff game to give one away like that, but stay in the moment, stay sharp and crisp and finish games, which we had done for the most part since the New York loss or whatever it was in January. And so you hate to be reminded and have to work a little bit harder and win another game, but it's just more fuel, I guess, to continue to do what we've done all year, and especially in the second half of the year. So there is value in learning another lesson and kind of being reminded of how good we have to be to close out games in the playoffs.
Different guys have stepped up throughout this series, whether it was Al Horford early on and Grant tonight. How big is that for a team with championship aspirations?
Yeah, it's huge. And, you in a series, a role player can flip a series. And I've seen that as a player and a coach. Certain ones definitely stand out. And so you rely on your big guys to do what they do every night, and the other teams as well, for the most part. But those guys can make or break a series. And, it's good for us that, like I've said quite a few times, we don't rely on one guy, although we understand who our main scorers are. We kind of spread around equal opportunity. We want to have that balance, and it affords everybody the opportunity to kind of step out and shine on certain nights, whoever's chance it is. But, we'll lean on Jason and Jalen, do what they do on a night-to-night basis and get the contributions from everybody else. I think that's what makes us harder to guard than, focus on one guy, Holiday or Giannis or whoever it may be. Thank you. Thank you.